All right, let's dive right into this explainer. If you're sitting there thinking state laws only stay within state borders, well, you are in for a major surprise today. We're talking about a new Colorado AI law that is literally about to ripple across boardrooms nationwide. Now, Senate Bill 26189 might originate at the Colorado Capitol, but its reach extends way, way beyond the Rocky Mountains. It's a landmark piece of legislation targeting automated decision-making technology, and here's the kicker. It directly targets any out-of-state business evaluating a Colorado resident. It is absolutely going to change how companies across the entire country operate. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Think of this as your out-of-state survival guide. We're going to cover the AI wake-up call, define the tech and covered domains, really hone in on that out-of-state impact, break down developer versus deployer rules, review consumer rights, and then wrap up with enforcement and crucial deadlines. Okay, Section 1, the Colorado AI wake-up call and the national ripple effects of a state law. Let's jump into the sweeping nature of this legislation and why brushing off a bill just because it has Colorado in the title is, frankly, a massive risk for your company. Whether you're headquartered in New York or Silicon Valley, you really need to pay attention. Moving into Section 2, defining ADMT and covered domains. Basically, what tech is actually regulated here? Before we get into the whole jurisdiction thing, we've got to clarify exactly what automated decision-making technology, or ADMT, means under this law. We hear AI thrown around constantly, right? But the law gets incredibly specific, and there's a very clear divide. Basic, everyday tools like spam filters, firewalls, or standard calculators, totally safe. But if you're using machine learning models, foundation models, or LLMs to generate scores or recommendations for major decisions, yeah, you're on the hook. Even chatbots are excluded, but only as long as they aren't the ones actually making consequential decisions. And here's where it gets real. The law zeroes in on 7 high-stakes domains: education, employment, housing, financial services, insurance, healthcare, and government services. The absolute crucial point for us today: if your out-of-state tech materially influences an outcome in any of these areas, like evaluating a remote job applicant or processing a loan, you are operating in regulated territory. The alarm bells should definitely be ringing. Section 3, the out-of-state business impact. Are you caught in the net? This is the core of today's explainer, where the geographic boundaries of the law essentially just disappear. So, does this Colorado law actually apply to your out-of-state business? It's literally the million-dollar question for executives everywhere right now. How exactly does a law signed in Denver reach into a server room down in Texas? The answer lies in one very specific legal definition. Under this law, a consumer includes employees, job applicants, or any individual whose access or opportunity in Colorado is evaluated in a consequential decision. This shatters the whole misconception that state laws only affect state businesses. If your national brand is hiring remote workers or screening applicants living in Colorado, those individuals are protected consumers. The law absolutely applies to you. All right, Section 4, developer versus deployer rules. Let's talk about your place in the supply chain, because the law fundamentally divides the AI world into 2 distinct camps. Your obligations strictly depend on your role. If your tech firm builds the AI, you're a developer. You have strict documentation duties. You've got to map out known limitations, risks, and provide data categories to your clients. Now, if your bank or HR firm uses the AI, you're a deployer. And deployers are the ones responsible for direct consumer disclosures. That means giving pre-decision notices and sending plain language explanations within 30 days if the AI denies an opportunity. But take note, both sides are required to retain their records for a minimum of 3 years. On to Section 5, consumer rights and reconsideration, or as I like to call it, correcting the machine. Let's see what happens when an out-of-state business uses AI to deny a Colorado resident a job or a loan. This is where the consumer strikes back against the algorithm. They're granted 2 really powerful avenues to fight an adverse outcome. Step 1 is the right to data correction. They can request to fix factually incorrect personal data that was used against them. And Step 2 is massive, the right to meaningful human review. This isn't just some rubber stamp process. You have to provide a designated, trained human to reconsider the AI's decision. They must have the authority to override the AI, and they absolutely cannot just default to whatever the machine recommended. Now, take a breath, don't panic just yet. There are some really important sector-specific carve-outs. The drafters recognize that if you're already highly regulated under federal frameworks, like the Bank Secrecy Act, the USA Patriot Act, or FERPA for education, you shouldn't face duplicative burdens. So if your AI is strictly used for cybersecurity operations, fraud prevention, or economic sanctions compliance, you actually have a safe harbor here. Finally, Section 6, Enforcement and Crucial Deadlines. Let's break down the timelines and legal stakes, because knowing the rules is one thing, but knowing when the hammer drops is quite another. Here's the crucial point on enforcement. There is no new private right of action. Consumers can't sue you directly under this. Instead, it's enforced exclusively by the Colorado Attorney General under the Consumer Protection Act. They wield the power to issue violation notices, which are treated as deceptive trade practices. They'll demand a 60-day cure, and if your team fails to fix the issue within that window, the Attorney General can move forward with a formal enforcement action against your company. Let's map out your company's future. Right upon passage, rulemaking authority and appropriations take effect. But the big, absolute, non-negotiable deadline is January 1st, 2027. That is the primary effective date when all these consumer rights and business obligations officially go live. You have until then to get your documentation, your human review processes, and your consumer notices perfectly aligned. Also, keep an eye on January 1st, 2030. That's when the mandatory cure period reporting requirement is repealed, which could definitely change how enforcement flows. I love this legislative finding from the bill. Ensure that consumers receive meaningful and understandable information about consequential decisions. It brilliantly captures the true spirit of the law, right? It's all about transparency and fairness over algorithmic secrecy. It explicitly tells the national market that hiding behind a black box is simply no longer acceptable. You must be able to explain to a human being in plain English why a machine made a specific decision about their life. So, this is a massive shift in national tech compliance, leaving us with one vital question. Will your out-of-state business be ready to explain its AI decisions by 2027? If your company relies on algorithms to evaluate people, the time to map your AI supply chain, define your roles, and build your human review guardrails is right now. Are you ready to adapt before the clock runs out?